Welcome to Beating Cancer Daily. Beating stage 4 cancer for 30 years still takes my breath away every time I say it. I'm Saranne, founder of the ComedyCures Foundation, and I hope you'll join me for just a few minutes daily for the next 365 days so we may laugh, learn, maybe cry a little as we live our best days beating cancer daily together. Are you letting cancer live rent-free in your head? Did you already have cancer and you're supposedly in remission and you can't stop thinking about having a recurrence? Well, I'm coming to tell you today, by listening to this podcast, we're going to evict that cancer that's squatting in your head. I read a statistic that I found staggering, that 7% of cancer survivors develop severe and debilitating fear about having a recurrence. Now, it depends on what kind of cancer you have and what kind of treatments you've had and how many years you're out. But I can't control any of that. I could never control any of that. I just knew that I wasn't going to let cancer live rent-free in my head and rob 1 minute of my joy or 1 minute of my future by worrying and pondering and pontificating. I'm going to say every big word that I can think of about cogitating, just every big word about thinking about cancer. I just wasn't going to do it. I paid my dues to cancer, and I wasn't going to let it rob any more of my life than it already took by doing all the treatments. So, what can you do? How do you push that beast out of your mind? Here's a couple ideas that I did, and we'll see what works for you. First of all, hypnosis. They say it works. They say that you can actually medically hypnotize somebody not to associate with their cancer. Now, I've tried hypnosis like at those party things that you do, but I'm not talking about that on a stage in front of a bunch of people. I'm talking about getting a medically trained hypnotherapist who works with you to hypnotize you about incessant fear about cancer. One idea. Second idea, visualization. I do a lot of visualization. I taught several visualizations so far on this podcast. But to picture a body that's healthy and free, you can picture yourself evicting the cancer out of your mind. You can picture yourself walking up to that cancer and packing its bags and walking it outside of your brain. I mean, it's kind of funny, but I love silly visualizations. Come up with a visualization where you march your own cancer out of your own mind. Here's another one. This one I taught. Not this, not this. Anytime one of these thoughts comes into your head about having a recurrence or having cancer, I want you to just stop and say, not this, not this. I did a podcast episode on it called Pausing Your Cancer at the beginning of the series, and you can listen to that. But just quickly, it's that simple. Those 4 words, 2 words repeating, not this, not this. Eventually, you will short circuit the message of the chatter about having cancer. And the not this, not this is like a sheriff coming into town who's not going to put up with any more criminal activity in your mind about this fear. Of course, talk therapy, having a support group, or having a therapist that you can work through some of these fears with can be very effective. I also think having a friend that you can call when these thoughts are overwhelming you, and you set that up in advance with someone that can be like your lifeline friend, like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and you can just call them and just say, it's happening. And they can talk to you and distract you and really comfort you. You can decide every time one of these thoughts enters your head, you're going to listen to comedy. And I did that. I just decided I was going to laugh instead of think about my fears about cancer. So I just started to watch comedy morning, noon, and night until my life was full of laughter and not fear. So you can call the Comedy Cures Laugh Line 1-888-HA-HA-HA-HA. That's 4 Ha's. Press 1 to hear a professional comedian. Press 2 to hear an amateur. Press 3 to tell me a joke. Look up a joke and call the Laugh Line and tell me a joke. Wow, we'll get a lot of jokes if you do that every time you're thinking about fear. The other thing is to just really talk about it. What is the fear that you're experiencing? And by putting air into it and light into it and hearing it, maybe it'll start to diffuse the stranglehold that it's having on you. Another strategy is to keep seeing your life without cancer. My first episode of this podcast was 2020 Cancer-Free Vision. Go back and listen to that and start creating a world where cancer is not part of your world. The last tip I'm going to give you is that I envision my cells being very, very healthy. I see healthy cells. I breathe in healthy cells. I breathe out cells that aren't healthy. It's a simple breathing exercise that I taught in a prior episode, which is breathe out fear and disease, breathe in love and light. You can repeat that episode and you can start doing that exercise again. So see, there are many strategies that you can do every day not to have cancer live rent-free in your head. Here's a quote from Game of Thrones. I've never even seen the show, but I love this quote. Laughter is the poison to fear. I'm going to repeat that. Laughter is the poison to fear. So every time you're letting cancer run rampant in your mind and take over your thoughts, laugh at it. Ha, 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 cancer. Ha, 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 cancer. You'll be laughing all day until your mind becomes within your control and you evict that cancer and it cannot live rent-free in your thoughts. I hope you tell me how this goes for you. Go to ComedyCures.org and let me know. I would love to hear what thoughts you're doing to evict the cancer out of your mind. Hit the record button and tell me, or write to me through the write button. Have a blessed day and have a cancer-free mind, and I'll see you tomorrow. It was so great connecting with you today. If you'd like to connect more, go to ComedyCures.org and check out the Beating Cancer Daily membership levels. It is so fun to meet up with all of you at our many different events. We have live virtual Q&A sessions with me. We have live Comedy Cures comedy events, live Health Builder workshops with Jackie Bryan, RN, and myself, a robust monthly newsletter, plus much more. So just go to ComedyCures.org and look for the membership level that feels right for you. And don't forget, you can also give one as a gift to your patient if you're a doctor, to a friend, to a family member. It really makes a very unique and personal gift. That's ComedyCures.org and sign up today. Thanks so much. See you tomorrow. Guess what time it is? It's time for me to read the disclaimer. Beating Cancer Daily and the membership circle are not in lieu of medical advice or treatment. They are for entertainment purposes only. Please consult your healthcare team to review your best strategy. Thanks for listening.